What's going on, YouTube, man? It's your boy CJ with another video, aka the Gym Slasher. Appreciate you guys for coming up, showing up. Hope you guys watched my last video, because this video is off of basically almost like a part two of my last video. Appreciate everyone that watched that video. Much love. Like I said, I'm keep popping these out. I'm motivated, I'm driven, I'm ready to rock. 1 like, 2 likes, 10 likes, it don't matter, man. I'm gonna keep these rocking. I gotta do this for me. I gotta do this for anybody, because eventually somebody's gonna be inspired by this. Somebody's gonna check this out, and I hope it does them a great deal of success as it does for me as an individual. Just want to get into it. If you checked out my last video, I ended that one with starting with this one, explaining the moniker of Gym Slasher. Now, the Gym Slasher is very simple. I'm a big fan of two fictional characters, one in Jason Voorhees, the other one in Michael Myers. Those are my favorite characters of all time in general, in movie cinema, and even more so in horror flicks and horror movies and stuff. I just find them to be dope, because it just don't matter what you do, they still find a way, albeit something rather horrific, in the horror film realm, but they're successful at what they do. I know it's kind of different in terms of why they are my motivators, but let me break that down to you to see for you to get a better understanding, because I know it may come off as you like killers. What? Well, in a figurative standpoint, right? They're motivators, and it's very simple. So each video I end off of saying the two questions: who are you, and what is your mission? I think those are very impactful and powerful for an individual to sit back and ask the question, who are you? To sit back and ask the question, what is your mission? That's the question that you ask you. It's not for anybody else to ask that. You need to ask that for you. What is your mission, and who are you? If you apply that to Jason Voorhees and Michael Myers, it is dead on. We all know who Jason Voorhees is, right? The trauma that he dealt with as a kid, drowned, and was cast away because he looked different and all that. They thought he was dead. He came back, and deletion for everyone that came to Camp Crystal Lake, right? Michael Myers went through a lot of trauma. Last piece of memory of him is his sister and that house, right? And the trauma that he went through, and people just cast him aside, right? Both times were they motivated and driven. They knew who they were, whether if it was art, we agree with it or not, they knew who they were. They had a mission, and they were going to set through. They were going to see it through, right? It didn't matter what you did. You blow them up, shoot them, lightning bolts hit them. All these things would happen. Jason was in space, for goodness sake, and was still doing what he did and doing what he was doing. It did not matter if you fought him, hand-to-hand combat, gun combat, bats, knives as well. It didn't matter. They were going to get it done, right? Deletions for all, right? Why would that motivate me, and why does that motivate me? Well, they understood who they were. They were motivated. They were driven. They didn't care what obstacle that was in their way. They didn't care about what other people thought of their mission. They were going to see it through. They knew who they were. And by all means, intents and purposes, they were successful at it, because they understood what they needed to do and get the job done, right? When you look at all the greats in their respective artistry, their respective careers, they knew who they were, first and foremost. They understood their mission. They knew the mission. They knew the assignment, and they kept going in spite of, right? We all have our lanes. We all have our hurdles. We all have our obstacles that come in our way. All our start lines are different from everybody else's, whether it's fair, unfair, or in between. It don't matter. We all have our start lines. The finish line is where the finish line is at, and we're going to have obstacles in the way. But if you have the mindset like a Jason Voorhees, like a Michael Myers, they're just going, I'm going to get the job done, no matter what, right? You start applying that to greats that you can relate to, that you understand, that you follow, that you look at. It's the same format. For me, it was them. This is mine. I got one weapon of choice. That's what it is. And regardless of what you got, this is what I got, and I'm going, right? Regardless of you may be frustrated with them, they're going to get the job done. They don't care, right? They don't care about everybody else. That's the mindset that I began to have about maybe long for pretty much the majority of my life. I was always clinging to those two characters, but as I got older, I understand them more. Albeit the funny thing is, never got nightmares off of those two. By the way, I always thought that was interesting that I wouldn't get nightmares off of them when I was a kid and growing up, and now it makes sense more than ever as opposed to why I was always driven by them. My success, I've always been in terms of successful and getting my mind to things and wanting to set them through or see them through. I've found that, but even more so over the last 10 years or so, I've been really driven on doing that. And those two have been in my head in terms of what motivates me, what gets me locked in, and what excites me. My advice, and that's what I'm doing this video in terms of giving this out to you. Find your motivator, find your drive, find your mission, and find out who you are. If you're looking at trying to be successful or get better than where you're at, improve on where you're at, do better than where you're at, whether it be in the gym, whether it be in the workouts, whether it be your eating, your diet, your way of handling yourself in your career choices, in your job, in your family life, your relationship life, you have to start with who is you? Who are you, right? What is your mission? Then everything else will start to follow after that. That's a tough deal to do because you don't really sit back and ask yourself who you are. And I'm talking about in depth. You are as a person, your family, your lineage, your ancestry, right? Start going into those things. You know what I'm saying? Start finding out things that you don't think about, right? And then find out what's your mission as it pertains to today, right? And moving forward, understanding your past, knowing your present, seeing what's in your future. That's the who are you, right? Your mission is that what it was in the past, what it is currently, and what's your mission moving forward into the future, right? When you start to establish those things, it's really hard to not be successful. I'm saying this because I practiced this for the last 10 years, really thoroughly, methodically, with intention, and I have seen the progress, and it's amazing in terms of how that has worked solidly for me. And I watch and follow people that also kind of have that same mindset of I'm going to be driven and I'm going to do things no matter what, in spite of. I don't care how many hurdles you put in my way. I don't care what things you put in, right? I'm going to get this thing done, right? Even for myself in the last video that I said, my first video, I told you I was scared, right? I told you I just was like, because I was putting purposeful hurdles in front of me when I didn't need to do it. But once I got out of my own head and just said, man, I don't care what kind of hurdles they are, I'm getting through them. I don't care what kind of videos or how you, if I bomb in my videos or not, I'm doing them. I'm getting them, I'm setting them through no matter what, no matter what's going on and all that. No matter what's going on, I'm a push this thing through. I'm gonna sit this thing through. So that's my drive. That's my purpose as well when I'm doing this. You know what I'm saying? Is continually to be focused, continue to be driven. Those videos will come up and me getting in, getting after it in terms of the gym and the workout. But my main motivator was just I really want to get establishing you guys understanding me understanding you guys, having being familiar with what's my drive and what's my purpose. Why am I so passionate about what I do? Why am I so driven? You could go back to those early videos and go, he broke him down exactly in what he's about, what he's on. He ain't deviating from that. He's locked in. Go back to them old videos. They jankety as I don't know what, but his mission, he explained it, and he's motivated by that. He's driven by that, and we can feel that. And I want y'all to feel that passion. I want y'all to feel that drive. I want y'all to feel that purpose. But I mainly, like I said, I just want you guys to do two things. Like I said, who are you? What's your mission? Everything else will follow from there. With that being said, I appreciate you guys. Much love. Here's to another day. No day is like the other day. Keep pushing. Peace.